Oh, I found it.
I was gonna say,
I got it.
I was sharing it in my YouTube channel.
Oh, I found it.
Good. I was gonna say,
I got it.
I was sharing it in my YouTube channel.
Oh, what you doing?
Oh, I found it. I was gonna say,
I got it. Mhm.
I'm mute. I was saying, yeah,
Sorry.
no, that's fine. Le estoy diciendo, I was telling David that if he can start if he wants to, or
Oh,
wait
okay.
a couple minutes, it's really up to you.
Well, I want to make sure I don't miss everybody, but I want to reward anybody who is here. So let's see how many people are on right now. Let's see.
We have 26 people.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. Yeah, let's start. I want everybody who showed up on time. Thank you so much for being here today. And I'll share, you want to turn it over to you to start us off?
Yeah, so él es David Perez, él tiene una compañía que tiene un programa de planificación financiera para ayudar a nuestros clientes con estrategias de impuestos y lo invité para que nos dé un poquito más de información de lo que se trata su programa. Él está dispuesto a contestarle las preguntas que tengan, así que aprovechen, ¿ok? Preguntas que quieran hacerle. Solamente habla inglés, pero si ustedes tienen una pregunta, díganla y nosotros, cualquiera de todos nosotros, la traducimos para él.
Thank
David?
you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being here. I know it's tax season. So if you are here today, I know that this is probably taking away from your time of your client, your office, and I want to make sure it's valuable. So for the next, I'd say about 45 minutes, we are going to share a little bit about how you can start leveraging and growing your business through something called tax advisory. I'll explain what that is in just a minute, but at the end of this presentation, I'm hoping that maybe you'll see enough value in what we share and maybe you want to come to a deeper event with me. We have an upcoming event, but either way, I'll talk about that at that time. So I bet most of you are here because you want to learn more about how to scale your business. And currently, you may be experiencing this problem, which is you're working harder than ever, but you're not seeing your business or your income grow in equal proportion, meaning you work hard, but your money, your income isn't growing as fast. And so you feel overwhelmed. You feel maybe burned out. You feel like maybe you're not in control of your business. This is a common theme amongst tax professionals today. Most tax professionals work long hours, long nights, weekends, holidays, birthdays, all the time for people, clients who don't pay them enough. And in most cases, the reason that they don't pay them enough is because they ask for work that goes beyond what you promised to deliver. So a client who maybe is your tax client may ask you advice on how to form a business, or a client who is your tax client may help ask you for advice on how to figure out retirement planning. A client who's your tax client may ask you to reconcile their bookkeeping just to file their return. And in exchange, they rarely want to pay you any more money. And even if you want to charge them, maybe you don't know how to charge them. Well, my name's David, and I've been in the industry for the last 18 years. And I'm an enrolled agent, and I have prepared in our organization over 50,000 tax returns. And I have been where you have been. You see, for a lot of years, I spent preparing tax season after tax season, telling myself that one day it was all going to pay off, that one day I was going to finally make it, that one day I wasn't going to have to work so hard. And I bet you feel like this. You say, man, I've been doing this for too long to not be where I want to be. Well, that's how I felt 12 years into my career, thousands of returns. I'm making millions of dollars, and everybody's saying, David, you are a successful business owner. You are winning. But they didn't know this. I was drowning in work, stress, frustration from all the clients that needed me to do things that maybe they didn't want to pay for, from a team that I always had to train over and over and over again to get the job done, for tax returns that kept on getting delayed, and clients whose refunds got held up, and IRS codes always changing. Every year was the Groundhog Day. Felt like it was the same year over and over again. And if you'll know if you've experienced this, if the way you describe how many years you've been in the tax season is by saying, I've been around 18 season, not 18 years. And when you describe it in seasons, it's because it's like a battle patch on your shoulder saying, man, I've been through battle 18 times. That's what I've been. Now, today, or in 2020, I realized something that it wasn't going to be easy to continue to grow my business if I didn't find a better way to get paid. I couldn't continue to do this anymore. And COVID really helped me. It hurt a lot of people, but it helped me. And maybe it helped you. You started to see different clients in 2020. You started to help clients maybe at a deeper level in 2020. And maybe like me, you ran into some clients that had different problems. And I think COVID trained everyone to have bigger problems than just finding or just filing a return, which is interesting because I feel like that's what COVID did. It made people say, I need my tax professional more than just filing my taxes. Anybody agree with that? I see more people today from 2020 now that are just demanding that you do more for them. And in 2020, when I met a client to file a return on a Saturday morning when I should have just taken the day off, I realized something. A client asked me to help him file his taxes, and I would normally do that for anyone. But this one client, as I jumped on the call, says to me, David, I've been looking for somebody to help me. And I said, why is that? And he says, look at my tax return. And as I looked at the return, I'm scrolling on page one. I'm like, man, this guy makes really good money. He was making over $1 million. By the way, none of my clients had that kind of income. So I'm like, wow. Then I look on page two on the bottom of the 1040, right across the line that says what you owe. And he paid a little over $100,000 to the IRS. When I saw that, I said to myself, man, this is a lot of money. So I asked him, do you normally pay 100,000+ in taxes? He says, I've been paying this for years. Now, when he said that to me, that made me think differently because most of my clients got refunds. Do you guys have clients that get refunds? I have a lot of EIC clients, or I had. I had a lot of clients with small Schedule Cs. I had a lot of W-2 clients. If that's you, that was me. And so I didn't know that a lot of people paid this much in taxes. And he says to me, David, I just need to file my return. I said, but hey, I think there's something you can do. And maybe you're like me, you know a little bit. And so I looked at his returns, and the reason that he was overpaying in taxes was because he was filing on a Schedule C and he wasn't an S Corp. And I don't think everybody should be an S Corp, but I had given that advice for a long time. I'd said, hey, if you're making more than 45,000, 50,000, you should be an S Corp. And so I tell him this advice and he says, how do I do that? And I said, well, you set up an S Corp. I explained everything to him and he goes, nobody's ever shared this with me. Now, I had shared it with my clients, but I guess his professional had never shared it with him. And he says, and I think this is awesome. Can we do this together? Can you help me? And I said to him, I'd love to help you, but just like I don't do this often for clients, for people who aren't my clients. And he says, David, I want to be your client because who I've been working with for years is just not taking care of me. Now, the funny thing is in my mind, I'm thinking the person he's working with probably knows about an S corp. The person he's working with probably has these same ideas, but he wants to work with me. So I say, I'll do it. He says, how much? And I don't even know how much I'm going to charge him. But he forces me. He says, David, just charge me whatever you need. And I said, well, $1,500. And this is 2020, guys. 2020 was 6 years ago. And I wasn't charging $1,500 for returns. Maybe some of you are already doing that, but I wasn't. My tax returns were $300, and if you paid me $300, I would pretty much do anything for you after that for free. So when he was going to pay me $1,500, I was like, man, I wonder if he's going to pay me. And he says, do you take American Express? And in that moment, when he says American Express, right, my opinion of everything changed. I started to feel like this weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders because it took me 5 clients to make $1,500. This is one client that was going to pay me more than 5 other clients would pay me. And I knew that this was the way. I knew it was the way because this just felt right. And so I took this guy's money, $1,500, and I got off the call and I told myself, man, I need to have more clients like this. Does anybody here have a client that they just wish they had more of that type of client? Say aye in the chat. If you want, you probably have had one client that you're like, man, I want more of those clients. Well, he became that guy to me. And I got off the call and I said, I'm going to find me more of these clients. And that's what I did. Now, I didn't know what I was doing. I called it consulting at the time. And I would say, I'm going to do consulting. And I would tell them about S Corp. I tell them how to pay their kids. I would teach them about how to rent their home to their business. I would help them set up a retirement account. And all of these things I was doing for free in the past. But I said, I'm going to charge for them. And I would reach out to clients that were already in my network. And I would reach out to clients or people that would reach out to me from social media and things. And I just built a very successful business. And literally within just like 60 days, I had made $100,000 doing this. And the crazy thing is that to make $100,000 in the past, just to make $100,000, think about this. I want to put this in perspective. It would take me over 100 clients, right? It would take me over 100. Actually, it would take me, in most cases, 350 clients to get to $100,000 at $300. So I would take $100,000 with really only took me about 25 clients versus 300 clients. And I knew this was the way. And I didn't know what I was doing, guys, just like many of us don't know what we're doing when we start out a new venture. But I decided this was going to be my future and I wanted to be known for something. And here's the crazy part. Every client I met treated me differently. They respected me. They would actually say things like, I'm sorry to bother you, but I know that you're somebody who can help me. They would say things like, I know that it's going to cost me money, but I know I need somebody like you to help me. They would say things like, I'm so thankful to have met you, which none of my prior clients had ever said that. And now I knew this was the way. That's what validated it for me. And for the last 6 years or 5.5-ish, I've been working specifically on learning the most advanced tax strategies so I can help my clients save money on their taxes. Coincidentally, I'm one of my own clients, so I learned how to do it for myself. And in 2024, I had built some really massive skills and I was taking on about 50 clients a month. And I couldn't handle it anymore. It was just too much. And my team and I realized that we needed to get better and more efficient. And in 2024 or 2023, 24, we decided to take everything that I knew about tax advisory. We started to take everything I had done to make millions of dollars by this point, and we put it into a software and we called it Tax Maverick. Now, Tax Maverick has my 18 years of business knowledge generating millions of dollars in revenue. My last 6 years of studying the most advanced tax strategies, it has created over 4,000 new client interactions over the last 24 months. It has taken everything that I've done and put it into a way that you can access in seconds, so that you don't have to go through the 6 years of pain that I went through, or the 18 years of business that I went through, or the research that I had to do to find and understand the tax strategies that we offer. What I did was put it all together in a software so that you can get access to it and use it and leverage it. And today I want to share with you a framework of a 3-step process to help you close more advisory business with your current clients and new clients. Okay. Now, I see in here, you must have a deep understanding of taxes to use David's program. That is not true. Let me tell you why. So I have been in the industry 18 years. I am an enrolled agent, but I recently became an enrolled agent. For a long time, I was just a PTIN holder. I'm not a CPA. I don't have a formal accounting degree. I didn't go to college or university for these skill sets. These are learned things that I have picked up over the years. And I've did it, by the way, just through practice, through simple education, through my own experiences. And I believe that if you want to win, you're going to find a way to win. And that's what I did. I said, I'm going to learn these things. And some of this stuff was really complex at first. It was really complex. Like you have to learn the rules of the game. That's the tax code. But what I did is I said, if it is to be, it's up to me. And if it is going to work, I'm going to make it work. And that's what I did, because I didn't want to be stuck in the business anymore. I didn't want to be stuck doing tax returns for people who were getting refunds, who would complain about my fees, who would tell me, David, you charge too much. Dude, if you only knew, you're not paying for the 1 hour time, you're paying for the 18 years of me learning how to do this thing better and better every single day. And that is what I want to help you see. I want to help you see that you are so valuable, that no matter your experience, it doesn't matter if it's 18 years like me, or some of you probably have more years of service. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 3, maybe it's your first season. What I want you to know is it doesn't matter the years of experience. All that matters is your commitment. You see, in our business today, when I hire somebody as an example, I don't hire people based on years of service. I hire them based on their attitude. And the reason is because I can train anything. In your business, you can train taxes, you can train strategy, you can train anything, but you can't train a good attitude. People either have it or they don't. And I know that you have a great attitude and you know what you're doing. You're capable, you're competent, you know how to learn, you know how to navigate the tax code if you have to, because here's the deal. I want you to pick this up. If somebody paid you a lot of money today, you would figure it out, right? Let me know in the chat. If somebody sent you a check for $5,000 today, you'd figure it out, right? So it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. Really, what you need to do is you need to be able to get people to say yes to you. And that's what I want to help you with today. I want to help you get more clients to say yes. Because if you made more money, you would find a solution. You would find a solution, right? And a lot of people, I'll give you some context. You know, if you've ever had a challenge in your life, maybe a health challenge, maybe you weren't feeling good. Like there have been times where, I'm like, man, I don't feel good. This was, up until about 2020, I didn't really prioritize my health. I drank a lot of alcohol. I ate really bad food. I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't really good at my health. And when COVID hit, I was really scared. I didn't know if this thing could kill me or take me away, right? And most people were. And I thought to myself, why am I scared? Why am I scared? And it was really because I knew that I hadn't built the skill of health. I hadn't prepared myself for this illness or sickness. And I think that it was a wake-up call for everyone. And I'm sure most of you had the same wake-up call because you said to yourself, I can't be unhealthy. I've got to make a change. Now, some people take it more serious than others. I get it. But you have to know that you got to make a change. See, our industry is going through a change right now. The industry is sending warning signs to all of us saying clients expect more and we have to change for them or this illness is going to take us. This is a change we're experiencing. And to me, when I learned about health, then the next thing I learned is that it takes commitment to take care of your health. It takes time and it takes money, investments. It takes those things to get better health. I know it does. You have to make a decision, then you have to make a commitment, and then you have to invest. That's what you're supposed to do. So for me, I decided to take that seriously, but the only way that I could take it seriously is if I had the resources to do it. So I want to help you get the resources so that you can start making more money so you can make better decisions for your business, because the majority of businesses don't change because the owner doesn't have time to make changes. They're too busy working. Anybody feel me on that? You're too busy working. In the last 6 months in our community, in the Tax Maverick community, we have a large community. We have over 1,200 tax professionals in our community. And we get to meet some amazing people from all walks of life, from all over the country, just amazing people with different stories, from starting out at the bottom, working either for Jackson Hewitt H&R Block or Liberty Tax, and then moving up the ranks and opening their business, to people who have left corporate America and said, I'm done with this, and moved into the tax space, leaving what they had a secure job and taking a risk to start their own practice, from people who worked for other firms and moved up, to people who came from bookkeeping or CFO type services and made this commitment. I've had engineers who moved into tax. Like, I've met them all. But here's the one thing that stands true of with all of them, is that many of them sacrifice so much of their life, time, and health to deliver to the people that they care about, their clients. And in most cases, their clients don't even care about them. And this past year, in the last 6 months, we lost 2 members of our community. They literally passed away. When I say lost, they passed away. And 2 people that I literally in the last 6 months, they were here at our office I had dinner with them. I got to meet them and get to work one-on-one with them and really feel connection and help them grow their practice. And the reason I share this with you is because these 2 guys died working. They died in their practice. They didn't get a retirement plan. They didn't get to spend more time with their families. They didn't get to build their future. It was stolen from them by the people who demanded more but didn't want to pay for it. I don't want that to be you guys. This is our mission. We're here to change the industry. We're here to help you, because it's not fair that you work this many years, that you put in this many hours, that you've done everything right. You got all the credentials, you took all the risk, you made the investments, and yet you still feel like you have not gotten the reward. Well, I want to help you get the reward. Can I help you guys? You guys cool? Can I share some things with you now? I'm going to stand up for this because I want to make sure we're all on the same page. All right. Here we go. Yes. Awesome. No, don't go to the doctor just yet. We need to make sure we get you got. Well, how about this? Why don't we help you make some money so you can get a better doctor? Here's what I believe, right? You need to have good people around you to help you give the biggest benefits. In fact, that's where we're going to start. Let's start with step 1. Well, first off, I believe that you need to have a process to get people to give you more money. It's called the sales system. It's a step-by-step process. We call it the Maverick method in our company, but it's a sales process. And it all begins with how you introduce yourself to a new or existing client. You see, most of us are seen as tax filers. That's it. As much as you and I know you're better than that, that's how we're seen. In most cases, your clients are going to describe you as that tax guy or tax gal, my tax person. That's how they describe you. And because they describe you in this way, you're not seen as the authority. You're seen as somebody who crunches numbers and fills out forms. And so when you try to maybe contradict that, meaning you say, I don't want them to see me this way, they say, no, that's not who you are. Man, you think you're better than that now? Oh, you're charging more? Who do you think you are? Anybody feel like that? Who do you think you are? You're charging so much. You're so fancy now making money. You want to make more money. Huh, huh, huh. That's what they say because you are a tax filer to them. And when you become a tax filer, no matter your designation, you could be a CPA, you could be an enrolled agent, whatever it is, doesn't be financial. They're going to consider this because that's what you've done for them. And in most cases, that makes you just like everyone else. And if you think about that, when you are like everyone else, then there is not much different between you and the competition. And so many tax firm owners will tell me, well, the reason the clients choose me is because it's me, David, and they trust me and they love me and they care about me and they know that I'm not going to let them down. And I'm the difference. And that's why my clients come to me and no one else. Well, that might be true. And I'm not saying you're not special and I'm not saying that you're not good, but here's what I will say. Do you really want to be stuck to a desk the rest of your life because that's the only way that you're going to keep your clients? Because that's what they're thinking. That's what you're saying. Well, they come to me because it's me. Okay, so if you weren't there, would they still come to your office? So then the difference becomes why would they leave? And the reason they would leave you is because they don't want to pay that much money if it's not you. And what ends up happening is your firm becomes commoditized because of this. Commoditized means that your firm becomes something that is seen as common, something that is seen that can be gotten anywhere. And let me put it in context. You can file your taxes at the same place you can change your oil today. You can go to Walmart and file your taxes. You can also file your taxes in your underwear on a Sunday morning in bed because you can go online. You can also go to somebody's house and file your taxes. You can also go to the public library and file your taxes. You can actually go to the IRS website and file your taxes. In most cases, for either free or half of the price that you're going to charge. So every time your client gets engaged by any advertisement that says less than you charge, you are considered somebody who's overcharging. Does this make sense? Make sense in the chat. This is making sense? I don't care how good you are. Your clients are starting to see that prices are going down and not up everywhere else. So when you start charging more, they're going to compare you. They're going to say, well, you can't charge that much. I can go to Walmart and do it. I can do it online and do it this cheap. In fact, my W-2 had a coupon for me to go online and do it. Anybody, is this all making sense? Drop makes sense in the chat. You see, I want you to pick this up. It's not going to be a great business if you have to compete on price. So how do you change that? Okay, here's the deal. To change that, you have to position yourself as a strategist or an advisor. That is your first step in charging more. This is the first step in the sales process. And the reason is because when your clients see you differently, they can't compare you to anyone else. You become incomparable, which means they can't say, well, you're like that guy or you're like that girl. No, I'm not. I am different. I focus on tax saving strategies. I focus on helping people save and strategize through the right entities, through the right investments, through the right tax structures. I do that. Oh, isn't that what you were already doing, David? No, it wasn't. In fact, what I was doing was filing a return, and that is called reactive planning. What that means is I was trying to help you after the fact. You're calling me. You're calling me to solve a problem you already have. See, I'm different. I solve problems that haven't happened yet, so they never come to fruition. They never come up. I'm a strategist. I plan ahead. I think ahead. I get ahead. So your current clients could say, isn't that what you've been doing? And the answer is no. Your new clients would say, wow, that's different than what I knew before. And that's how I took my first client from his current tax professional, because I said, I can help you save on taxes. He said, whoa, whoa, whoa. My guy's never presented this to me. How do you do that? And then I say $1,500. And guess what? Do you think that was more than his current professional? In the chat, do you believe that $1,500 that I charged this guy was more than what he was currently paying? Yes or no? The answer is, come on, it is. I was charging $1,500 was more than he was paying with his current pro. He told me he paid his last preparer $750. I charged double, plus, I didn't tell you this, I charged another $1,000 to file the return. He gave me $2,500 in the span of 3 days, and his prior tax professional charged $750. So I want you to pick up this lesson. Why do you think he paid me more than what he was already paying? In the chat, why do you think that is? Why do you think he paid me 2.5, almost 3 times more? I had authority. That's a good answer. Knowledge. You gave him value. That's a good question. Let me give you the answer. Because I was different and he could not compare me. Pick that up. Pick it up, because if you don't pick that up, you're not going to get the lesson here. I was different. So he couldn't say, well, my other guy charges $750, David. Yeah, but your other guy doesn't do what I do. So did I give him value? Absolutely. Did I have knowledge? Yes, absolutely. Did I have authority? Here's the question. Did I have authority? I absolutely did. You know why? Because when people charge a lot, do you automatically think there must be a reason? Yes or no in the chat. When people charge a lot of money, do you automatically think like, man, there must be something special here? Now, I'm not saying you have to agree with the price, but you automatically think, what's so special about this? Why do they charge so much? Okay. So you have to be seen differently. So if I were to give you one big tip right now, you need to change your title to tax strategist. Now, the challenge next becomes, well, David, if I change my title, then everybody's going to be asking me all these tax questions. Would you agree with that? And you're like, I'm not quite sure, David, if I could make these explanations of all these fancy things, because I know how to do a few, but what if they ask me some complex questions and I look like an imposter? Has anybody ever felt like that? Like, I don't want to say this until I'm 100% sure. I need to go back to school. I got to get CEs. I got to learn more about these strategies. I need to make sure I'm not going to give bad advice. Oh man, here's the challenge, right? I know this because I was there. It was very difficult for me in the beginning to start charging for things that I had never done. In fact, I had to swallow my pride and I had to say, David, it's okay. You can charge for things that you don't know, because if they pay you, David, you're going to figure it out. So here is lesson number 2. You don't need to know all the strategies. And in fact, let me give you a secret. You don't even need to know any tax strategies to start offering tax advisory and to call yourself a strategist. Now you're like, what, David? What? I'm telling you right now, you don't need to know any tax strategies to do this. Now, let me tell you why. Okay. There's 2 reasons why. Number one, here's number 1. The reason that you don't need to know all these strategies is because the more you know, the more you give. Remember this, the more you know, the more you give. Let me put it in context. Anytime you've ever learned a new skill or learned something unique or different, you automatically want to share it. You want to teach it. You want to share with people what you've learned. Okay. So imagine now you've got all the strategies. Let's say right now I did this like, hypnosis, and I just through this webinar, through this training, I just threw all the strategies into your mind. And all of a sudden you downloaded them all and you know every strategy, how it works, who qualifies, how you apply it to the return, what are the limits, how it would work specifically for every client, and how much tax savings each strategy would actually benefit each and every client. Let's say I gave it all to you. And then we got off this training, and immediately you went to go meet with the client for a tax return. And the client says to you, "Hey, I watched this TikTok video by this guy named David, and he was talking about paying kids. And I really want to pay my kids in my business this year. Do you think I could do that?" And you go to your brain and you and you pull up the record and it says pay kids. And so then you start saying, "Absolutely. I think you should pay your kids. In fact, let me tell you how this is all going to work. You see, each kid is worth about $14,000, and each child that you put on the return over the age of 6 is probably an opportunity for you to pay them. Now, we got to determine a fair and reasonable wage and a scope of work that they're going to perform. Then we set up a family management company, and we make sure that out of your S Corp, we transfer $14,000 annually to your family management company, which then takes the distribution, puts it into a bank account that can allow your kids to invest in a retirement vehicle so they can be set for life." And that's what you do. And then the client says, "That sounds great. Can you do that for me too?" And you're like, "Yeah, I could." And then they're like, and then you're like, "Well, I charge for that." "Oh, okay. How much you charge?" It'll be about $2,000. And they're like, "Oh, let me think about it. I'll get back to you because, I need to make sure that my kids are okay with this and my wife's okay with that. And I just need to make sure it all makes sense. In fact, let's finish the return and I'll get back to you." Let me tell you why that doesn't work. When you give away advice, people have no value for it. So they don't want to pay for it because you already gave it away. You already gave it away. You already gave it away. And now you have to convince them that it's valuable. It does it all the time. Yeah, Monica says she does it all the time. Here's how you do it, Monica. Let me tell you. So number one, you're going to give it away for free. So the more you know, the more you give, period. Number two, you don't need to know all the strategies, because if you do this right, you can actually get them to pay you so you can learn the strategies. What? What, David? You can get paid to learn the strategies? Absolutely. Here's how you do it. So instead of that same client saying, "David, how do I pay my kids? Can we do that?" Instead of me answering with, "Yes, let me tell you how I do it, because I am Super David. I am the expert and I know everything and I would give it all away for free so that I can beg you for money." Let's pretend I don't do that. And I say, "Hey, that's a great question. You know what? You may qualify for that. In fact, I think you might. And here's what I think we should do. I don't want to give you bad advice. In fact, I don't want to give you any wrong advice. And the only way for me to really know if this is a strategy that applies to you, and more importantly, how much you can pay and when to pay and how we're going to set this up, why don't we start with something that I call as an assessment? I want you all in the chat, type the word assessment for me. So why don't we start with an assessment? And I want you to remember this word because it's a strong word, assessment. And the client says, "What's that?" And I say, "Well, it's where I get to know you and your financial history, your tax history, your goals and ambitions, and your business a little deeper." You see, right now I just file returns, and filing a return, you may think that I know everything, but I only know probably half of the story. And what I want to do is I want to get the whole story. And the way we do that is with an assessment. I get to know you a little bit deeper. And then what I do is I assess all the information that I get and I put together a tax savings assessment. And what that is, it's going to identify all the strategies that apply to you. You see, just like if you went to the doctor and you said, "Doctor, I have this cough that won't go away, and I have this pain right here in my gut." Well, the doctor is just going to ask more questions. How long have you had that pain? What other conditions have you had in the past? Does this run in your family? Is there anyone else in your family experiencing these pains? They ask questions to get to know you and understand what may be going wrong. Then, after they get the data, they then say to you, before I diagnose you, I need to run some labs so that I can determine if I'm right. Because with my wisdom and experience, I do know a lot. And in fact, I probably could tell you what's wrong with you. But the problem is, if I don't have the test results here, I could give you bad advice. Most tax professionals are giving bad advice because they're giving advice without knowing everything about the client's situation. They're giving advice without knowing the client's future goals and ambitions. They're giving advice without knowing how much money the client actually has to make an investment in strategy. They're giving advice premature. So instead of giving advice premature, you recommend an assessment. Now, an assessment, like I mentioned, is a deep dive into their financials to determine what strategies apply to them. Now, you're probably asking, but David, why would they do this? Well, because they want to know if the strategies apply to them. Now, you're thinking, but David, how do I actually do that assessment if I don't know strategies? Well, there is where Tax Maverick steps in. Our software is an AI, artificial intelligence, and HI, human intelligence technology that helps you, tax professional, offer strategies to your clients, and it helps you build those assessments that I just talked about, a tax savings assessment report. All you will do is get a client to commit. The client will commit to doing an assessment. You will upload their returns, any profit and loss statements for the year. You will answer a few simple questions about the client's history, just like you would do in a tax return. You will then click submit, and Tax Maverick will do the rest. It will identify every strategy that applies to your client's unique situation, including paying kids, renting the home, the Augusta rule, all the things that you've heard about on TikTok, Instagram, and everywhere in between. It will determine which ones apply to you and strategies you've never heard of, and say, this strategy will save your client this much money. This strategy will save you this much money. It will prepare it in a way that you can use and present it to your client so that they can see that you know what you're doing, even if you don't. Does that sound cool? Anybody? Is that cool? So you don't have to work for free anymore. You don't have to give advice away anymore. But there's one piece missing. Okay? One piece missing. How do I make money, David? Well, you should charge for those assessments. They should not be free. Because people don't pay, or people who don't pay, I want you to remember this. People who don't pay, well, they don't pay attention. For some reason, when people pay, they listen. Anybody know that? Anybody know that? If you went to the doctor and they did not charge you for the advice they gave you, and the advice was, maybe something severe, you're like, man, he says that this may be a disease, Well, if you didn't pay them a lot of money, you probably would say, I probably should get a second opinion. And guess what? The second opinion, if they charge you, you're going to believe them way more than the free doctor. You know why? Because nobody values free, even though we love free. I know most of your clients want you to do the work for free, right? Nobody values free. So to charge for assessments is very simple. We have prepared over 4,000 assessments inside of Tax Maverick, and the average fee for a tax assessment is $2,497, which means When a client says, I would love to work with you and start the assessment process, you will charge them $24.97. Now, I know that seems pretty extreme because it's like, well, David, I've never done this before. Well, David, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, David, okay, well, David's use the well, David's about everything. Has there ever been a time in your career where you didn't fully understand everything, but you knew that you had to make a change? Because if there's ever been a time like that in your life, in your career, then this is that time. This is your second chance. This is the next movement for you. So I want to help you. I've only had a few minutes here with you today, and I can only share so much in this short amount of time. And I want to help you grow your practice. And I want to show you how to charge. I want to show you how to get your clients and new clients. I want to show you how to build out these tax assessments. I really want you to see what it looks like to really build out a business that is fully running on advisory, where you need less clients and make more money. Anybody want to do that? Who wants to have less clients and make more money? Let me know in the chat. Wants to make more money and have less clients. Okay. Well, if that is you, then I want to help you, but only with your permission. Now, we've been invited here. I was invited here to help you. I mean that. And members of this community have come to Tax Maverick, and we've helped them win. I help accountants, tax professionals all the time. And here's why. I want to pick this up before I share this with you is there are so many tax professionals that are just giving up their health and their family time, their future, grinding away at something that is going to eventually not be relevant. Tax returns will get automated at some point because the data is easy to gain. There's an IRS database that's already created. The majority of things can be calculated automatically. There are AI companies who are already doing half of the tax return for accountants, if you think about that. There are ads. You've probably got hit by them. Let us help you fill out more returns faster with AI. Well, I mean, if they're already halfway there, how much longer do we have to expect it to get all the way? And if you tell me, well, David, they'll never be able to do it with AI. And I would say, you're probably right. But how much are you going to charge if AI does the majority of it? And your clients know it because they're going to get hit with ads that say that. You're not going to charge the same. It's going to get cheaper. It's not going to get more expensive. People are going to combat you on price. I am asking you to see this as an opportunity because you have to change your business model if you want to continue to grow. And if you don't want to grow, then don't pay attention. If you don't want to grow, then go back to doing more returns, getting stuck at your desk, leaving your family during the holiday season, not getting to celebrate birthdays with the people you love. If you want that life, go for it. But if you want freedom, if you want to change your life, then here's the call to action for you. I want to help you go deeper on this advisory business. In fact, I want to show you how to build the entire business, probably for what you charge for one client. In the chat, how much do you charge for one client? Give me your fees. Give me a fee. I just want to know. Show me the money. Regular tax, $260. Okay, cool. Come on, let me see. I'm going to see my fees here. There you go. $250, $500, $100. Okay, $325. This is good. $1,500. There you go. $400, $1,100. There you go. So here's what I want to do. I have an event coming up, and I want you to come to it. It is going to be an investment, but remember, people who pay attention. And it is actually very affordable, but here's what I would say. When I share this with you, if anybody says, man, that's a lot of money, that means you should do this. Because the more you commit to something that scares you, the more likely you're going to pay attention. Just remember that. Now, I'm going to show you a quick video on what this event's all about. So watch, check this out. I'm going to show you something. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. Welcome to day one of our 100K Tax Advisory virtual workshop. My goal here today is over the next 2 days to really deliver or even over deliver to you the plan, the roadmap to build a 100K a month advisory business. If you hear something that just stands out that you're like, man, that was good, I want you to drop the phrase 100K. What is the one thing you want to get out of this event?
Just how to present it to clients, you know, because we work with their other advisors, whether it's life insurance agents, financial advisors, CPAs. They always kind of make them, oh, we don't really like them. We're just kind of stuck with them. They don't really help us with taxes. So enough people have come to us, my firm, and said, you know, we'd really like to have a one-stop shop type of place. And that was our light bulb moment to bring this on.
Today isn't just about learning, it's about implementing, about change, it's about movement. If you're ever gonna wanna get to the next level, you have to be that next level person. And I'm gonna show you today how you can win with marketing, even if you're not a marketer.
It was amazing, honestly. I think the biggest win from yesterday was I had thought I had a marketing problem, but you had identified it's probably not that. I probably have a fulfillment problem. And instead of doing what I was doing, which was limiting the number of sales and discovery calls I was taking, you told me to do the exact opposite and I would take care of the fulfillment side. So I'm looking forward to learning more about what that could look like.
You may be thinking, what are the next steps? Like, what does it look like for the client to work with you for the full year? And what does that journey look like? And so we're going to cover some of those items and what we do and how we service our clients, and also some challenges that we ran into and how we overcame those challenges. And so if you really don't want to have all those sweat and tears that we went through, well, pay attention here and I'll show you exactly what we did.
Well, thank you for everything that you have done. I definitely have learned a lot.
And I want to thank you guys too, you and your team. When you're able to not only just, you know, receive the information that you guys are teaching, but open the floor up for these questions, for this, what about this, what about that? It just puts an ease to a lot of everything that's going on. It's just like lays that foundation out.
You guys, can y'all help me welcome, show some love for Miss Ruth Creado.
With the growth and my experience in the company, one of the things that have helped me has been, how can we help with systems? How can we help with metrics? How can we help with including platforms, technology that we can leverage to make our jobs easier?
Thank you all so much for being here. We wish you nothing but success in your journey. I believe this is a pivotal year. I believe this is the year that advisory is going to break out and people are going to separate. It's going to be those who want and those who are doing. It's going to be the pretenders versus the contenders. So if you want to change the industry and change your business and change your income and change the lives of those around you, then join us on this mission. All right, who wants to come to this event? Anybody excited? Does that sound cool? Who would like to come visit us or not visit us because it's virtual during tax season? Who wants to come to this event? There you go. I see a bunch of you dropping it. All right, so here's what I want to do. Whoa, trying to play it again. Here's what I want to do. Our upcoming event is something special to me because it's during tax season. Now, here's what I want you to know, okay? Actually, I keep on messing with my chat here. Let me stop sharing for a minute. Many of you are going to give me an objection right now. David, when is it? Because I'm going to be busy. David, I'm so busy right now. I already hear it. You're always going to be busy. And if you wait till you're not busy, that is the worst time to do anything. And the reason is because that's when there are no more customers. I need you to be in front of the customers. So I want to help you right now. So here's the deal. I'm going to drop exactly what I'm doing right here. I have an event coming up called the Build a 100K a month advisory practice business. That's my goal. It's 2 full days of spending time with me, 2 full days recorded. So you don't have to be there for the whole thing. I'd love to have you there. But I promise once you show up to day 1, once you get into the room, you're going to say, man, I don't want to leave. It's 2 full days. We break down marketing. We break down client sales. We break down strategies. We break down fulfillment and delivery of advisory clients. We do role plays. We build an actual tax plan live with you. 2 full days with me and my team, not just me, my whole team. There, you could get these tickets on our website for $14.97. You can get 3 months. I'm going to give you 3 months of the tool Tax Maverick, which is the tool I shared with you that creates those assessments. That tool is $597 a month. I'm going to give it to you completely free for 3 months. Plus, I'm going to give you a training on how to actually build those assessments I talked about so you can go do that today. So you don't even have to wait till the event to actually go out and get paid more money. So you get $3,785 worth of value. I'm going to give you $1,000 off today because it's normally going to be $1,497. For $497, guys, I'm going to give you 2 days full with me. I'm going to show you how to build the business that you deserve to have. And here's what I'm willing to do. Here's my personal guarantee. Come to the upcoming event, and if you don't get exactly what I promised and you can't see the value, just say, David, you suck. Tax Maverick sucks. I've never had anybody say this, but if they do, and I want my money back, and we will refund you every penny because we're not here to make money. We're here to make an impact, and I want to work with you. Now, you guys can ask questions in the chat. I'm going to leave this QR code. You can scan it. Please use the promo code SAVE1K at checkout so you can save $1,000. Okay, right? So you could save $1,000 because this would be normally $1,500. Now I'm going to look in the chat. If you guys have questions, go ahead and ask questions. I'm gonna leave this up here, and let me make sure I got any. Let me see. I lost my tab right there. You go. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat. Give me the coupon. There you go. We got you. Can't see the video. Did you guys not see the video? Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Use Save 1K at checkout, get $1,000 off today and today only. And for this group, trust me, I know we can help you. I've been in this industry 18 years. I've gone through the trenches just like you. These seasons are long, they're tough, they're overwhelming. And if you've just come to the conclusion that this is just the way it's supposed to be, it is not supposed to be this way. There are tax professionals like myself and our community who are no longer stressing during tax season. We're making more money, working with less clients, and seeing the success in our practices that we deserve. So, team, I'm going to let the link go in there. Does anybody have questions for me?
No questions here, David, but I do want to comment something. The program that you are offering right now, I actually got it for $1,000 at a conference.
You paid
So
more.
yeah, so you are giving my group a really good discount. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, we definitely wanted to do something special for this group. That are your team and the group that you community you serve. You guys do amazing things, and I would hate to see you guys continue to go on the path of just working it out. For the first 12 years of my career, all I would wake up every tax season, January 1, and say, one more season and it's going to be better. One more season. It's going to get better. One day it's just going to get better. And it never got better until I decided to get better, right? We're expecting better clients, but it's not going to get better just by expecting. You actually have to do something about it. Hours of the workshop are from 9 to 4:35 each day with a lunch. Okay, so that's 2 days, 2 full days, CST. It's recorded, so you can watch the recordings if you have questions or anything. 2 full days, self-paced if you want. So
yeah, that's what I was going to mention, that I know that we all busy during tax season, but we can watch the recordings.
Correct. We'd love to have you guys. You show up. Trust me, you can get in there. If there's a challenge, you can't make the event, let our team know. We'll get you registered for the next one. I would hate for you to miss this opportunity to get $1,000 off. So even if you're saying I don't have time, let's just get you on the ticket list so that we can make sure that you get your spot saved at this price point because it is significantly discounted for your group. I want to make sure Samantha and Wendy gets in there. So Ruben gets in there, Petra, Monica. Let's see, Marlon, Maritza, Maria, Marco, Marcelo, what's up? Liz, Karina, 2 Karinas, all right. Juan, Jennifer, Gisette, Gabriela. I see you guys. Edwin, Carla, how you doing? Barbara, Andrea. Let me see. America, great name. Alvaro. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat. I don't want to take up everybody's time. If you guys have questions, please do that. If you're already signed in, put I'm in. If you signed up, put your in the chat. I want to make sure you're in. Okay, put I'm in.
I
Yenny,
think I saw a question before. Let me look for it. Yeah, someone asking, do you have a deep understanding in taxes to be part of David's program?
you don't. That's why we give you access to Tax Maverick, so you could use the software to be your guide. And part of our community, we do 2 free workshops every single week as a subscriber to Tax Maverick that teach you tax strategies. So you don't have to have a ton of experience. Let me see here. What is the average income generated after I complete your program? In most cases, this is going to be a roundabout, but in most cases, you're going to get your first client within the first 30 days of working with us. And that client's going to be worth anywhere between $2,500 and $15,000. So one client is going to pay for this, by the way, one client. And you get to keep the skills forever. So what we teach and what you see, even if you don't stick around in the community, you definitely are going to get the skills for life. So that's what I want to hear. And then that's what I want you to know. All right. Great questions. Yenny or Tere, do you guys have any questions for me?
No, I don't, David. Thank you so much.
I don't have any questions. I'm trying to look at my calendar so I can clear it out for those 2 days.
Let's go.
Yes.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
Thank you so much. This was great.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for the community that you guys serve. I am thankful for everybody being here today. I know it's already at the top of the hour, so if there's anything we can do to serve you, I hope you already got the coupon, guys. I'll leave it up till about 5 o'clock this afternoon. So if you just want to save the link, grab it, go, but don't forget, because I will take away the $1,000 discount. The link will still work. You're just going to lose the $1,000. So please take action if you really want to come for $497. Spend 2 full days with me. I'll record it. So in case you can't make it to all of it, I do have a workbook that you're going to get. This is the workbook that you're going to get. I'm going to send this over to you digitally so you can have that as well. Plus, you get the on-demand training today for the perfect assessment, and you get access to Tax Maverick today. So you will have access to the software plus the workbook, the recordings, and we have some calls in between here and there and our workshops. So please, if you guys have questions, shoot them over. Is it events@taxmaverick.com, guys? Is that can you drop in the email if they have a question, they can email us. I think it's events@taxmaverick.com. There you go, events@taxmaverick.com team. If you guys have questions, please let us know. This was fun, guys. Thank you, Tere. Thank you, Yenny. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
David.
coming to this chat. Thank you so much. And I will be sending you all the information, Betty, too.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much. Have a
Thank you,
fantastic day,
everybody.
guys. All right, bye-bye.